Hello, we're meeting on the day of the eclipse in Libra on October 2nd, and I'm here to do a pick a bundle, which I'm going to show you in just a moment, where you can intuitively choose the bundle of cards that you feel most drawn to. And this is going to be a reading then based on the bundle you choose for what October looks like for you. But on a much more bird's eye view from that, I would really like to look at what these eclipse energies are bringing up for you overall. And this eclipse cycle has been in flow now since September, and it's going to be remaining very potent for us until the mid to halfway part of October too. So without further ado, let me show you the 3 bundles that you might like to choose from one of those, and then we'll get into it bundle by bundle, and I will timestamp below the card bundle that you choose. Okay, it's been a while since I've recorded here for YouTube, so I'm excited to be back, and I'm really excited to get into this reading for you. I have no idea where to look on this camera, so I'm hoping I'm looking right at you guys, okay? But for now, let's have a look at these cards. Okay, so this is actually bundle number 1. It's coming with this flower agate tower, okay? So you might be feeling drawn towards that. Bundle number 2 coming through with this sky blue quartz. And bundle number 3 has this red jasper. So have a look there and take your time selecting the bundle of cards that you feel most intuitively drawn to. I'll pause here for a breath. Of course, if you need to pause this video and take a little bit more time reflecting on the bundle, please do so. And we're back. And we're back. Okay, so we're going to get right into it with bundle number 1. So the archetype card that came through for bundle number 1 is the Father archetype. I'll read you a little bit about this archetype in a moment. Before saying much more about it from the guidebook, what this looks like to me is that this is an energy and time in your life of preparation, of discipline, self-discipline, and of being a leader and making decisions for yourself and being very dependable. Also coming up with energies such as validating yourself, and through the Father archetype's presence in our life, let's say, we would have much more of a high self-esteem because we're able to complete tasks and even become masters, and we're able to have our creative spark recognized. The 5 of Cups, the 9 of Wands, the Fool card, and the Mother of Pentacles, sometimes seen as the Queen of Pentacles. This is the 4 of Swords with the Mother or Queen of Wands. Justice card, of course, that's important because it's the Libra card, and this is a Libra eclipse. 3 of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and in reverse, the 3 of Pentacles. So currently, those of you who've chosen bundle number 1 might actually have a few things going on, and no surprises there. Emotionally, the 5 of Cups in the center. You might feel that there is a certain amount of sadness around you right now, and that can feel emotionally pretty weighty. More so psychologically, however, the Mother of Cups is here to suggest that on a psychological level, you're actually really centered. So even though emotionally you might feel that you're at a loss, or you can't put your finger on why you feel disappointed, or maybe you feel disappointed, down on your luck, kind of, down in the mouth is an expression that comes to me with this 5 of Cups. Psychologically, or built into your psyche on a more subconscious level, is this really strong central pillar of integrity, of thriving actually, and of security, right? And then on a more spiritual kind of like a kind of higher vantage point, you're in this Fool card energy, which speaks to new beginnings that are unfolding during this eclipse season portal. It's not uncommon, I should say, where you would be in an energy of change during the eclipses. Sometimes it's more potent than others, depending on where these eclipses are falling in your own birth chart and activating. But there is a new beginning happening for bundle number 1, and it comes with a lot of fresh territory and new insight and new beginnings. Something about the Four of Swords and the peaceful energy that comes through when I see this card makes me think of a recent period of rest and recuperation, and even a lot of insight and enlightenment, you could even say, with the crown or the third eye chakra being illuminated here. So coming from a recent period of reflection, of rest, into what looks like a lot more personal power, and Queen of Wands is a very fiery and go-getter energy, very visible and very dynamic and confident. So the rest period was necessary for you to step into this up and coming energy of more vitality, and from a place of, usually I will say, like alchemy, pain into power. It's more like rest into power, or peace into power, that's coming up for you at this time. And I'm going to pull a few more cards to flesh out this reading. I wish I had have done this before, but I didn't really want to look too deeply into the cards before getting into the reading. But now that I see the Fool card, which is a Uranian energy, and this Justice card, which is Libra, it's really making me want to see when the South Node, which is transiting Libra, was kind of, when did that transit start? I mean, it started, I believe, in 2023, and I just want to kind of pull up a date here where I think a lot of your journeys around this particular focus point in your life at this time has begun, and that really did start in 2023. And it was July of 2023, the South Node moved into Libra. So from around July 2023 until now, and until maybe even April of next year, it seems to me that you're on this journey of kind of considering and recuperating from significant losses even. Not that that has colored your entire, journey from that point, but I think with the Five of Cups coming out in the middle of the reading, it would suggest to me that a loss, a grief, a setback, or a disappointment has now been kind of fully fleshed out for you, and it's been integrated on a deeper level where you can understand why and how and the reasons behind all of that taking place for you. The Nine of Wands, think of this as the step-by-step, the climbing of the ladder, okay? And it's about some sort of a approach that you're taking and have been taking, where whether you even wanted to or not, even if you were in a emotionally low place as of late, you had no other choice but to put one foot in front of the other and continue on your journey, and to continue to make the most out of your experience. And through this endeavor of yours, the Nine of Wands really speaks to strength and going to the top and going that extra mile to get to where you want to be. So even though emotionally you may not fully be where you hope to be on the next sort of step of the ladder, you're going there either way, and life is happening and you're progressing either way. And I think you're very conscious that things are still happening for you. You're not at a standstill by any means during this eclipse season portal. In fact, doorways are opening for you. And sometimes we think that if we're going through a low period of our life, be it with family or relationships or money or purpose or drive, we sometimes think that everything is just slowing down and that we're not getting anywhere. But life is proving to you that even though you might be feeling a certain disappointment or setback, loss or sadness at this time, you're still really able to strive forward and continue to make achievements. And the Fool card is suggesting that there is a brand new journey underway for you with this eclipse season. The Fool card is the first card of the deck, and it speaks to the optimism of what lays ahead and the excitement of this adventure. That yellow color, the bird is about to take flight for the first time. That's bringing me to have a look at the father archetype now, as I see these trees and as I see this energy of, you know, having to be disciplined and still having to do what you're meant to be doing here. And even though emotionally you may not always be in the mood to, psychologically or buried a little deeper into your psyche is the Mother of Pentacles, and this is an energy of being very grounded still. So you're still grounded, you're still motivated. There might be something missing, sure, but it's not a permanent state of affairs. The father is the protector and the masculine. So we have Mother of Pentacles here and we have father, and alongside the mother archetype, this father is residing in this kind of axis of a family, or perhaps this is coming up around family, then your own parents, or watching parents getting older, watching a dynamic and in the family shifting in a bigger way. Perhaps it's with your own children and you yourself as a father or a mother, or perhaps it's with your spouse or somebody else in your family member where you are kind of having to adopt certain roles or really put deep consideration into those dynamics. So the father embodies both light and dark aspects of the masculine. So he is infinitely dynamic and complex. His energy is strong and regal, embodying such virtues as honesty, wisdom, and loyalty. Yet, ironically and simultaneously, the father is often absent, literally or emotionally. Through absence or action, the father eventually reveals that he is neither a king nor a god, but a human being with many flaws and wounds. He is both the guardian and the one who leaves us to the wolves. Here, yet gone, the champion and the failure. The father can never resolve or escape this duality. It is inherent in the archetype itself. Witnessing the father's limitations allows the child to grow beyond the family and into the world. And at this time, you are growing and moving into the world with a greater sense of possibility and limitlessness. And I think this has come from a wound, perhaps, for sure, and a realization of those who are in your life being just as flawed as you or I, and just as imperfect, and still having to live, still having to make ends meet, still having to go the distance, still having to climb this ladder and pursue your goals and meet those achievements. But in the light, this archetype is supportive, strategic, regal, kind, and a kind authority. In the dark, it's disappearing, disappointing, and even gets very down in the mouth about anything that's perceived as a failure, almost cynical or defensive in nature. Now, when I saw that card before reading the deck, or the oracle guide I should say, I saw something about discipline, and the Nine of Wands is all about you being disciplined at this time in your life. And you will meet support along the way, and those support systems are coming through in your environment card with the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is when possibilities are emerging for you on your timeline, and based on, it seems, very responsible risk-taking on your part, bravery, courage, kind of up against the odds, I would say at this time, bundle number one. Despite that, connections are still happening for you and doors are still being opened for you. It's all about you taking a leap of faith at this time. And there might have been something that's been absent for you, whether it's a father figure or not, whether it is the support that comes through with that archetype, or the validation, or the I see you, right? That's what the child is looking for, isn't it? Right after the nurturing of the mother and the safety, and those things are provided by the mother, the child is going to go look for the father to see them, right? To see them as an individual. The child might think that they're kind of at one with the mother. And so you have been kind of nurturing yourself, maybe licking some wounds, maybe taking some time out to process, to heal, and to come to terms with certain failures, right, of yourself or others. And that is all coming full circle now, not from a place of shame or a blame anymore. It's coming from a place of acceptance. Now, that doesn't mean that the Five of Cups doesn't still smart a little emotionally. That's a different story. That's still very valid, but there is something about you taking a leap of faith, and I keep hearing despite the odds or against all odds, and that is going to be a source of the power that's coming through for you in this Mother of Wands energy. This is less of a nurturing mother. This is a bit more of a hype person, or being your number one fan, you know, and this is the person cheering you on, but a lot of you are just going to be stepping into that role yourself. So this eclipse season is bringing with it adventure, change, and new beginning. It's also bringing with it increased visibility and more confidence in your physical appearance, in your skills, in your ability, and just higher self-esteem overall. So this eclipse is happening in Libra, and the scales and the quality of Libra, this black and white, right, can seem quite karmic in nature, or at least it's trying to balance, or at least it's trying to bring us to the awareness that, well, there are consequences to our actions. There's a consequence to every action, giving an equal reaction. Every thought has a karmic weight. Every word we speak has a karmic weight. There's a reaction to every action, is basically, I mean, isn't that karma in a nutshell? At least in certain belief systems it would be. And the Justice card is here to say that the consequence of your choices is now somewhat set in motion. There's certain things that are less consequential, of course, but there are times in our life where we have to live the consequences of this human experience and all of the universal laws that go with it, and the choices that we make, for better or for worse. It's all about bringing balance to the scales in our life and allowing the dust and chips to fall where they may, and the dust to settle is what I was going to say. All the same, opportunities, doorways, and connections are opening for you in your world now, and there is an opportunity to change course. Even though certain consequences are playing out, you still have the ability to make a change. And this possibility or change that's coming through seems to be coming through with a person or people or group in your environment that are making offers for you, or hoping that you'll collaborate, or hoping that you'll join forces with them, or kind of just get into some sort of a entanglement. And it seems to be very optimistic so far. And the Wheel of Fortune coming through here, which is a lot more of the fated sort of quality of the tarot, the destined, the purposeful, the synchronistic. And this is also a real eclipse signature. Sometimes things happen, or downloads happen, or inner or external shifts emerge, and they have this kind of fateful implication. So regardless of how you feel emotionally, or where you're at in terms of, let's say, how full your cup feels, how much energy you have, life still is playing out, and you're still taking the necessary steps to get to where you're going to be, because fate is also nudging you during eclipse season portals too. And I love to see the Fool card and the Wheel of Fortune together, because that represents optimism. So it's really admirable for me. I'm really admiring this in you, because it shows to me that you're still really hopeful and energized and expecting the best case scenario here all the same. The Three of Pentacles in reverse. Yes, that mountain that lays ahead might seem daunting. Upright, we've got a little bit more of a clear approach, right? We've kind of able to see the challenges, or we're able to see the feat that lays ahead. In the reversal, it may be that the destination isn't fully clear yet. You may not have the people on side yet. The people that you work with, the people that you collaborate with, maybe aren't up to scratch, or you're just not gelling very well. So maybe there needs to be some changes there, or perhaps you need to, the father archetype it up and take matters into your own hands in a bigger way. the message of if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself is coming up. As I see the Father of Cups at the bottom of the deck, this would tell me that the heart has to be in it, right? You have to have a sense of, you know, it's a Scorpio card, the Father of Cups, and I feel like that energy really needs to know why they're doing something, right? It's not enough to just be told it's the right move, or to be told that this is the truth or this is how it is. That has to sink in with you on a more emotional level and a more intuitive level, it seems. Why don't we pull a few more cards now and see where we're going with this? I won't clear up every card. I'm just going to clear up the major arcana cards as well as the Five of Cups. Definitely. Let's start with the Five of Cups. It's the first card out, and I want to be sensitive to the fact that, you know, some of your moods are a little lower at the time of this reading. The Daughter of Swords, but you're still inspired, and a lot of you might actually still be having a lot of insight and ideas coming through. It's like that kind of phase, and we think of artists or creators or philosophers and visionaries. A lot of times some of their works come to them and come flying in from the ether here like this sword of insight during times, the wise L, right? The wisdom gained through times of, let's call it maybe even crisis or despair. And that's really interesting to see that coming up for you at this time, bundle number 1. And the Fool card. I'd really like to look at the Fool card too. The Father of Pentacles, but in reverse, the absence of that archetype. I'm gonna have to hold you right there. I gotta plug my battery in. I thought I had it charged. I think I did, but let's I'll be back. I really don't want to start again, so I'm hoping that this hasn't been too bothersome. While we plug this in, you're getting a nice up close and personal here. Okay, so we're charging away, and I'm just gonna reconfigure this setup here. All right, that wasn't too bad. The Father of Pentacles coming out in reverse certainly makes me think of the disappointing or the absent or the feeling of being left to fend for yourself, being thrown to the wolves, right? Despite this sense that you may have, you're still venturing into the unknown. Now, failure is something that seems to be coming up in this reading, and it seems to be about a feeling of not being good enough, of your past mistakes coming back to haunt you, a feeling of even writer's block or creative kind of heaviness or a lack thereof. And it's probably a nod or a kind of deeper nudge into self-validation. And the good news is that the self-esteem signature of the Mother of Wands is coming up now in the near future. So between now and the end of October, I feel like something is coming up for you that gives you the boost that you need, that gives you the significant like hype or the visibility or the validation or even applause. Let's see how and possibly where that's coming from. The Seven of Swords in reversal. Strategic, right? Very, very calculating and having a very solid plan and thinking about things through. The Father, the masculine in its light, is very logical and pragmatic, very commonsensical, and oftentimes very measured. And in the reversal, the Seven of Swords is about revealing that ace that you've been keeping up your sleeve for some time now, and having that on file, having that up your sleeve or on the back burner has been reassuring for you. You didn't know when you might need this, you didn't know when it might be relevant, but now has come the time where this is exactly what you needed. So in the upright, I might say, are you sure you've thought this plan through? Is it futile? Are you sure it's going to work? In the reversal, this suggests to me that now the timing is right and the plan is really set to bring in success. But you're going to still be figuring things out as you go, because the compartments, the departments, the people involved, the clients or your staff or your colleagues or teammates may not be up to scratch in your eyes. There's also a family dynamic here for sure, with all this father and mother cards coming through, where you might have had to make decisions for the sake of the family or on behalf of family members, or you might have had to really be very measured and disciplined around family and even thinking things through in terms of what's the best case scenario for everybody. How can we all win? There might have been a significant amount of pressure on you, or actually just a lack of interest in dealing with certain things, or hard to be motivated around dealing with things because there's a sense of like loss maybe, or absence or disappointment with it. All the same, Nine of Wands, you've had to continue to put one foot in front of the other. Like that Buddha says, you know, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Not much has changed on some level, but on another level, everything has changed. And I don't mean to be vague, but life is still going on, even though something significant has changed for you on an emotional level. And the Father and Mother of Pentacles coming through here, one reversed. A lot of you are dealing with an absent sort of father figure or masculine role in your life. You could have broken up with somebody, you could have lost contact with somebody or been estranged from somebody that's important in your life, and you are assuming or thinking, well, life should just kind of meet me where I am now, where in fact life is saying, no, you've got to keep going, you've got to keep climbing. The Justice card is coming through with the Two of Swords, another Libra energy. So the answers to the questions that you might have hoped to find some clarity on in this reading or otherwise may still be like this eclipse energy here right in the background, eclipsed. Hidden from view, right in the dark. And the Justice card says, one way or another, the bulk of the decision has been made now, so the consequences are going to play out as this note. You know, you've hit the note, the song must play, it's not too late, but it's already loaded in the queue and it's coming up next, and you can't get to the DJ booth to say, hey, don't play that song. It's playing, all right? And there is a lot of like, no, no, no. I hear resistance when I see the Two of Swords. And then comes the surrender, okay? Let's have a look at your hopefulness around this and the good fortune that comes through with the Wheel of Fortune. You're looking for a lucky break, I get it. You're hoping that, you know, something amazing is going to happen. The Mother of Swords in reversal, another Libra energy. This particular Libra eclipse for you is a little bit more profound than perhaps the other bundles I'm going to read for today, in terms of balance being off in your life, in terms of feeling like you can see the outcome, right? And that's the vision, right? Upright. In the reversal, it's a lack of clarity, it's a lack of understanding, it's a lack of insight. And that's what I thought when I saw the Three of Pentacles in reversal, that you know that you're being brought on this journey to reach a destination, to face a challenge, but you just don't know what that is yet. So let's go a little deeper into the Three of Pentacles. To me, I feel like it's part of the company you're keeping, or who you're involved on this project with, or part of the family dynamic that is while it's been difficult in nature, it's been Saturnian in nature. That's a Capricorn energy with that 3 of Pentacles, and mountains kind of seem Saturnian to me, big heavy rocks, right? The 10 of Cups in reversal, the 6 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Because not everyone's meant to come on the next phase of your journey. And I know that that might be a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow for you at this time. But when you're on the other side of this mountain, or at least at the peak, or even just starting out, and you're making some decent headway maybe, or you're feeling stronger, it will be revealed to you why those people, that person, that relationship, that way of life, that job wasn't going to be part of the next chapter for you. Okay, and of course that 10 of Cups means something about emotional drain, and you feel upset about that. The 6 of Cups is about laying down a new foundation or laying down new roots. And I think the Fool card would just suggest that you're going to have to do some of this on your own, or take this leap of faith somehow, or some part of it at least, on your own. Okay, bundle number 1. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Thank you so much for watching. Bundle number 2 with the sky blue quartz. Let's get into your reading now. The archetype that came through is the threshold. All right, so we will put a pin in that. But before I read about this from the guidebook, to me the threshold is the opening of something that is neither here nor there, and you're in this sort of initiation phase into what is coming next for you. And eclipse energy really is a threshold energy. It's a portal into the new from the past. It's very much associated with the karmic past and the dharmic future, and you're straddling kind of 2 worlds at the moment. So I have the 4 of Cups with the 8 of Pentacles and the Hermit card, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. We're getting a very Virgo energy here, and you may not be a Virgo watching, but Virgo energy is all about preparation, due diligence and calculation, and being careful, and a lot of very wise discernment. The Strength card, the Star card, and the Empress. Very abundant, very hopeful, very awe-inspiring. I have the 9 of Cups, which when I see that with the Star card, I have to pull out my tarot one-on-one from my early days and say the 2 wish cards coming out side by side is significant. And especially with the Empress, it's a doubling down of the fact that dreams are coming true for you, and your wildest, most miraculous dreams might be even unfolding. Then there's the 2 of Wands and the 8 of Wands. Okay, this feeling of being stuck, this feeling of being slowed down, of completely being grounded down to a halt. Something has broken down for you and you cannot seem to push past the phase, the chapter, the stage of life you're in now. Or it might be something about a project or a goal or your next dreams and things like that that aren't being activated yet. It's left you feeling a little bit blue, and it's starting to make you feel like you're being delayed, or starting to feed into a certain narrative or storyline, which then you are affirming to yourself, and then that also comes with this kind of judgment on your value and your worth. And let me just tell you, that is changing with this eclipse season portal, because the next phase you're stepping into is the Star card. This is extremely hopeful. This is all about the star, the North Star, the orientation for you to be guided into the future with a lot of optimism, and having done a lot of healing, and really a lot of faith is being restored for you in the very near future, this month in fact. So although life has been handing you lemons in a sense, and you feel way grounded down to a halt. You are dealing with complications. Eight of Pentacles here is somebody trying to fix a leaky sink. You've been dealing with a draining energy. You've been dealing with things breaking down, right? Literally could be it's something to do with your vehicle or something in your home space, and something practical is breaking down, your software, your technical issues. Everything seems to be feeding into this narrative now that you're not getting anywhere or you're not making enough progress. And then there's this kind of like, well, if I'm not making enough progress, I must be useless, or it must not be in alignment. What seems to be happening here, we should get to the threshold now, is the Hermit is all about wisdom. Like, this person has stepped away from the picnic behind them. They have moved off to kind of ponder here. They're looking up to the clouds. They're maybe praying. They're seeking some sort of solitude away from the merry group. And they're here to sort of figure it out for themselves and allow the answers to unfold within them. So you might be getting really frustrated at the moment, and your mood is a reflection then of disinterest because things are boring, right, and monotonous or even laborious, and that then is making your mood kind of feel tired or depleted, right? So that's just a mood, okay? That's relevant, but it is not going to be something that ebbs and flows, so it's not something too permanent. The Strength card in the past, the Star card in the future, I mean, part of what you're seeking to do next or working on is going to be part of a much longer cycle than you might be aware of. And I'm talking like a 5-year plan, 5-year, 7-year, 10-year plan. I don't like to do those for myself. I never really have, but I think that if whether you're aware of it or not, something about what's happening for you during this eclipse season portal is part of a really long cycle of achievement, of stamina, of getting to know yourself, and of essentially knowing really when to treat yourself, to what and how to treat yourself. And this is kind of like, there's something about this that seems very potentially sensual even, or enjoyable or pleasurable. The Strength card in the past also is telling me that like this Leo season into Virgo season with the Hermit and the Strength card, so from July, August, September, you have been treating yourself better, and you've noticed then that really is mirrored back to you by other people, showing you more respect, taking you more seriously, showering you with the love that you deserve, and it's all feeding into like really high self-worth. But yet you do remain to be in this threshold space. So why don't we have a look at the threshold from this guidebook now? We have the door, the gate, the initiation. We cross thresholds continually, consciously and unconsciously. Doorways, gates and entryways grace our path on a daily basis, and when this card arises, it signifies that the precipice you stand upon is not your typical one, however. You have arrived at a threshold of initiation, here to usher you into a new reality. It requires you leave behind the you that you thought was so well formed. A new frontier calls. This is not easy work, no. The threshold initiation means a part of you will be lost in order to make space for what is next. A metaphorical death must occur. Some may not recognize you, and you may struggle to recognize yourself. The ground seems to crumble as you free fall into your new identity. This is the liminal realm. One step, dear friend, just take that one necessary step forward towards the future that calls you. So we're speaking to a period of a lot of growth, and the axis of Leo with the Strength card and Aquarius with the Star card is the axis of individuation in astrology. So you're becoming more of a unique and well-formed, updated self, I suppose. But I guess then, well, you know, the other side of that would come with some sort of a refusal, right? This person looks like they're kind of saying no, or no thank you, I'm not interested in that, which is a shutting down or a mood that's saying like, I don't want to grow, I don't want to change this, that, or the other. There was something in that made me think about the Eight of Pentacles. It was something to do with the daily basis. Yes, for sure. So something about, you know, you just continuing to make moves, and I don't know what it was exactly. The press was the, you arrived at the threshold. This is not easy work. That was the sentence. Okay, so this doesn't look like easy work, right? It looks laborious, it looks difficult, it looks like your back might be strained in some level. So make sure you're taking care of your vessel and all of those things, and fixing and tending to yourself, as well as the things that are feeling like they're broken down. And, you know, maybe it's never too late to call in some help or support there. The Strength card is this sense of self, right? The Strength card is this temple that exists within all of us. Let's call it the lion, or this primal kind of animalistic part of our psyche. It exists within all humans, and it's like this temple that we can return to within ourselves day in, day out. And these thresholds and these doors and portals that we meet on a daily basis offer us an opportunity to always ascend or be better versions of ourselves. And we check back into that temple and we reflect. The Hermit card is here in reflection, going to see what can be changed, or what we need to change about ourselves, or work with and improve, always improving. Okay, so although things might seem like they're breaking down, grounded all the way to a halt, and some of you actually are even starting to doubt the path in front of you altogether. Some of you have actually started to subconsciously psych yourself out so much to the point of stopping it altogether. Whether or not, you know, the stopping it altogether, or the ceasing to work on that or with those people, or to just cancel it, call it a day, whether or not that's what is the highest and best, I'm not sure. But what I do know is a path of individuation, of greater sense of self is emerging, and with that brings this new quality of a vision, of a hope, of a dream coming true for you. So maybe it is true that some of you are making the wise decision to park that for now or forever and say, I've poured enough into that, and for now it may not be kind of giving you what you want. The Empress card, your highest self is here to tell you that the floodgates are about to open in terms of more abundance than you can shake a stick at, more love, more levels of depth of feeling, of connection and involvement in life and the cosmos and everything that goes with it. Love, family, friendship, community, belonging, and just like a spring or a wealth of good feeling within yourself, and pride and beauty, and really good stuff with the Empress card, you know. And then the Nine of Cups in your environment, I mean, talk about satisfaction. Like, this person is just salivating. So there is this very delicious, sort of sensual, salubrious, kind of pleasurable energy that's emerging with these eclipses, and it seems like it's going to be a really welcome change of experience for you based on the other cards, which seem to be a little bit more about a grinding to a halt, a disinterest, a lack of mojo, a lack of motivation, and just feeling like everything's a chore, you know. The Two of Wands, and you know you've got to make a choice. We'll get into that when we clear it up. But the Eight of Wands is a energy that is nice to see during eclipse season reading, because it speaks a little bit to synchronicity. Oh mama. It speaks to synchronicity, and it speaks to, like, somebody has emptied these pastas, pennies, into a bowl of water now. They're midair, they're flying from the packet into the water, which suggests that things are in motion for you with this eclipse season. The outcome of what these eclipses are meaning for you are somewhat already in high speed for some of you. Like, things are happening. You may not fully see it yet, but behind the scenes things are being worked out for you, and whatever is happening next in your life is already set in motion for you. It's already not too late, but those pastas are going into the water one way or another. So that tells me that there is a certain amount of speed and movement that's starting to break this sort of feeling of monotony, mundane, routine, very daily grind, kind of boring or even restless. And for some of you it's just really a little dull, or some of you, you're just feeling like, this is not sustainable at all anymore. So let's kind of just look at the Four of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse together, where I'm seeing most of this kind of like slow, heavier, laborious energy around you presently. The Lovers, the Pope, which is the Hierophant, and this is also going to be the Four of Pentacles. So, okay, the Lovers and the Pope, okay, so we speak to relationships, traditional relationships here. We're speaking to perhaps feeling like changing something about what is conventional in your relationship or conventional for your family, or speaking to making a choice. The Lovers is the choice about changing something up and going out of the traditional sort of tried and true way of doing things. And some of you, conversely, have been doing things in a way that is very progressive or unconventional, and that is actually going to balance back, which we're in a Libra eclipse, finding balance and equilibrium. You're going to be coming back a little bit, coming back sounds like it's a regression, but you're going to be swinging back towards a more conventional approach, okay? The Four of Pentacles is a little bit conservative. This person is trying to hold their resources and keep things to themselves and keep things the same, and there is that kind of with this Pope energy here, there is that sort of like traditional ritualistic quality that like just kind of comes all the way through humanity. And the scales here with the Libra energy at the bottom of the deck with Justice tells me that where you fall on this scale will be unique to everybody, and it's about balance, and we need all sides of the story to be expressed in society. We need there to be as we need, of course, things like equal rights, and all of that goes without saying, but we need on a personal level to feel like there's a place for us no matter what in society, or in our love relationships, or in our jobs, or at the company. And there is something about some of you leaning heavily or more heavy in towards doing something in a more traditional, tried and true, sort of standardized approach that works, and that is very sacred, and sort of is something that ties civilizations or parts of your life together because it just works and it fits. And then there's others that are going to be trying to do something a little bit more unconventional, maybe in terms of relationships or jobs or a structure that they're building. I get the impression that like love relationships, business partnerships, buying land, working on the land, maybe new and updated approaches around how you work in your relationships, work together in your relationships, business or romantic, or how you pursue something health-wise. You might be kind of doing something around your health that needs to be brought into balance around it, trying something new and progressive and out there, or else trying the tried and true measure. So the Hermit card then is about taking all of this in and feeling like very wise, and feeling very much like you've got it figured out. So that's what's happening next. You figure it out, bundle number 2. And this is like any day now. The penny is dropping. All you needed was a little bit of time out, a little bit of peace. The 10 of Swords and the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. The intuition needed to just come through for you and reach you. And you just needed to take yourself out of the daily routine or the daily grind to reach this threshold energy of this new kind of territory that you're coming into. Now, the 10 of Swords isn't an easy card, and for some of you it seems like a disastrous sort of crisis, or some sort of a shit is hitting the fan here. Like, I've worked in the service industry. I know if something like this happened to me, I would feel an enormous sense of strain, and it would be a very intense situation. So some of you have actually had to, that's the threshold you've had to be in, right? And I've just noticed that there are pomegranates in the background of this card on the wallpaper. In the Rider-Waite-Smith version of the High Priestess, we'll see pomegranates there too. Associations to Persephone and the underworld and the descent into a kind of death cycle and crisis, and to kind of have that sort of cathartic experience and to see the full spectrum of what humanity really is, where we're at right now. That threshold even looks like to me, with the darkness above, kind of a descent into the flames, right, where a lot of alchemy and transformation occurs. So I want to clear up a couple more cards for you. I'll clear up 3 more. I want to look at the Star card, the 8 of Swords. When this period of expansion occurs, it's coming up next, it's coming in hot, right? Just like that bowl of pasta landing on the guest's head. When that period of expansion, 2 aces at the bottom of the deck, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, when these opportunities start to come through for you fast and hot, impending, it's coming up, you're in this kind of program now, this narrative about, no, that's not for me, I'm going to be stuck here, I'm breaking down, I'm whether mentally or physically or appliances or whatever it is, things are breaking down. Your brain is getting familiar to that, and it's starting to potentially send a signal then when things start to really look up again for you to start to sort of doubt it, or to shut it down, or to expect that this is too good to be true. Just watch out for that, because the 9 of Cups and the Star card together truly is an energy of too good to be true. Oh no, too good and true. The Empress. What kind of blessings are these going to be? Not only one thing, I think it's a very all-encompassing sort of a feeling of blessing. The 3 of Pentacles in reversal. An elimination of those people, those naysayers, the people that don't work effectively with you. This actually card came through in reversal in bundle number 1, so you might want to look at that too at this point. But the blessings of elimination are coming through. People being kind of taken out of your path, the way eclipses happen, that you've been hoping to kind of put space between yourself and those people or those jobs, initiatives for anyway, and new skills will emerge to take up that space. That's that threshold energy. Something else comes through to take up the space when you make that leap into the unknown, so to speak. That space doesn't exist for very long. There's always something to fill it. And the 8 of Wands coming through with the World card. Great end to this reading. The World card is about the full circle moment, the coming to fruition, the graduation. Everything is getting tied up very nicely in a bow now, and you're really going to be coming into your own as these eclipses draw to a close in the next few weeks. Specifically quickly with more final kind of like, you know, I hear like 2 weeks notice and then the quitting, or then I hear the step up the ladder on one promotion and then the pinnacle. There's 2 more steps after October on this journey for you, around January of 2025 and in April, March-ish of 2025. So you're not all the way there yet, but you're already it's in the works, it's been cooked up. And the world card is the whole meal. You've just started one course, and then the culmination is still yet to come. Thank you so much for watching bundle number 2. Happy eclipse season to you. Bundle number 3, I'm gonna have to link your reading in the description box. I've got to pause this reading to attend to something, but bundle number 3, if you felt drawn to choosing that bundle, you're gonna find the link to that in the description box of this reading, okay? And I'll see you there in just a moment.